Head to Knoxville, don't be late. Baker's Live, it's gonna be great. June 5th and 6th, mark your date at Dollywood, we'll celebrate. Meet Baker and more cool friends. Live show magic that never ends. Come to Dollywood, feel the vibe. With great people there, it's gonna be a ride. Rides, fun, and meet and greet. Baker and pals, the crew's so sweet. Get ready for laughs, cheers, and thrills. Knoxville's the place, it's giving chills. Meet Baker and more cool friends. Live show magic that never ends. Come to Dollywood, feel the vibe. With great people there, it's gonna be a ride. June 5th and 6th, don't miss the fun. Meet Baker and friends, it's second to none. Baker and friends, it's second to
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whoever you are, what if any you might be. And welcome to a busy day. Today will be busy because Zachary Hughes is about to start his defense. How much of a defense is he going to put on? I don't know. I've been thinking about it. I was out driving Sunday to the baptism. Went great. He started crying like every other kid in the family when he got water in the head. But I don't know if they have a DNA expert. It didn't seem like it because they didn't really question the DNA results. Will they put on the ex-husband? And other than himself, I can't see them do much for the defense. But we will switch to the Karen Reid hearing at 11 Eastern. And follow that. There should be a lot of motions today. But again, we never know how much they're going to talk, how little they're going to talk. I find 11 to be a weird time to start a hearing, because are they going to break for lunch at 12, or are they going to soldier through it, or is it just because Bev says, well, I read most of it, I don't need you to talk about it. It's going to be interesting, but busy day today. Like the bees, we are busy all the time. And I hope everyone had a wonderful President's Day yesterday. I spent it with my good friend Harry from Germany. We did a show together. It's kind of a little weird with him instant translating what I was talking about, but I think it went pretty well. They come with full bellies, but I don't have a full belly, so I might need some food. And where we talked about this case, and it was funny. Harry covers cases. He just kind of takes the highlights and takes the most important witness testimonies and then translate it into German for his audience. And still, that audience who haven't watched the trial gavel to gavel like we do, they have the same questions. It's the same things they are sitting saying, that timeline doesn't fit. That only got DNA on one hand. what about all the other tests they talked about taking? So it's quite interesting to see that even though you don't watch it gavel to gavel, that you end up the same place, saying it seems a little too perfect that his DNA is is on her. They didn't even say under her fingernails; they said on the tips on her right hand, and we talked a lot about that. Another sad news: Daryl Brooks have chosen to fire his appellant lawyer. He will go at his appeal pro se. That'll work like a fart in a church. But it's been delayed now for the 6th time, the appeal case. So I don't know when, if ever, it's gonna come on. So if Daryl Brooks goes back to do his appeal, he will be pro se so far. So it's kind of interesting. It was a holiday in Canada yesterday too, Family Heritage Day. Oh, I thought you celebrated the day you burned down Benjamin Franklin's house. I love that I did that spoof video about President's Day yesterday, and more than one person said he wasn't the first president. He wasn't the one who lived at the White House. When I write, don't take it serious, it's a joke. It's probably because it's a joke. I know that the first president in America was Bill Clinton, and the White House wasn't white till after the war on the Potomac, 1812 to 14, where the British sailed up the Potomac, set fire to the White House, and they had to cover up the fire damage, and that's why it's the White House today. The more you know, that was the last war that America lost on their own territory. For those of you who didn't know that. Yeah, I was fire damaged. Well, you were Brits back then, so it's the same thing. It's kind of like when Sweden calls themselves Vikings. No, they're not. It was us and the funny boys from Norway. The Swedish, they couldn't really sail, so they went to Ukraine and Russia instead. Became the Russians, kind of weird. We're part of 13 Warrior. If you ever watched that movie with Antonio Banderas, they weren't as cool as we were. American hockey won the weekend. I don't know. It's every third Monday in February, right? That's how it's made. Yeah, you should listen more to me about American history. I have all the hot takes. That George Washington was a Swede. Who else would attack Germans on Christmas night? No, you are a member of the Commonwealth. You did a lucky escape after. When did you get? Did you get out after the Second World War, like the rest of them? I'm not even sure. I don't even think I've ever seen 9 seconds of hockey. I don't understand the game, and it's confusing. I've seen more baseball than I've seen hockey, and baseball is a sport where nothing happens for 7 hours. Well, probably not because. Do you know he kept a journal? Hans Christian Andersen. He wrote children's book, kept a journal, and he was probably very, very massively depressed. Didn't exist back then. And he was a couch surfer. He went around to all the fancy families and stayed at their houses and lived there rent-free and made a fairy tale for the kids or something like that. But he had a journal, and he wrote, "Today I was at the theater, I saw this and that." And then he made small marks in the margin. Those marks were... This is a good Christian channel. So I'll phrase it in a way. They were when he went into his refractory period. So in his journal, you can see how much he reflected alone by the marks he made in his journal. Interesting fella. Apparently died a virgin. He was very much in love with a Swedish dancer, a dancer for money, but never ever got to marry her, and apparently died a virgin. Hockey isn't that hard to understand. It is. Hey, 80s. Baseball is grown men hitting a ball with a stick and running in circles, chasing each other, but I still like it. It just nothing happens. I love that Americans saying, "We can't watch that soccer game. It's 90 minutes and it ends 0-0." Yeah, but there's all the ball playing between where you can see, oh, this is the tactic. It's not like, let me just stand here and swing, strike, miss, foul ball. You need to watch some football instead. We were thrown out of Scotland in the 80s. Well, yeah, the fun boys. England and Scotland is kind of like us and Norway. When we get together, we have fun. When we don't like each other, we fight a lot. Hello, anime. Washington never told a lie. I chopped down a cherry tree. I skipped a stone across the some weird name river. Was it a cherry tree? Is that your liquor extravaganza in the background? This, yeah, that's my liquor cabinet. That's all my different kinds of port wine, rum, and mostly bourbon. Hey, Cindy Lou Woohood. Interesting. Hey, Laurie. And still not live yet. Come on now. They should have started. Remember, we are in half an hour on delay, so they should have started in court, but we'll see. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, Bell's palsy probably is better than a stroke. I don't know. The only one I know with Bell's palsy is good old JR from wrestling. I know it takes a while to come back, but it's probably better than a stroke. But fingers crossed everything will be fine and dandy. I'll tell them. Wrap her horn egg. I love that whenever people spell it out for me, they don't pronounce it in the same way. We are ready for today. We're going to do a double shifter. We're going to do... Oh, and something just happened. We're going to do the Hughes case until Karen Reed starts. And then we are going to... then we're going to jump over for the Karen Reed, and then we'll go back and get caught up on this one. So I hope Karen Reed isn't too long, because apparently they're not going to break for lunch. But Valhalla should be joining, so I can sneak out. Oh yeah, the Mountain has Bell's palsy as well, and he's coming back into Strongman, so you can train with it, but just got that droopy face. But hope all the best. Well, I'm not covering Karen Reed till 11 like everyone else. You can probably go... No, Tom isn't... Well, Tom is supposed to go live now from the standout. So Karen Reed will be covered when it starts, but we have this case going as well. There are tons of motions, but we never know how many Bev will look at. Most of the time, they're talking about one or two of them, and then I read the rest, and I don't know. But there's some very contentious one this time, so maybe it's going to be interesting to see them argue about it. There's about 240 motions today. It won't be short. Well, again, it depends. We have had these days before where we were hunkered down, ready to go, and she said, I have read your affidavits. I'll make a ruling writing. And it lasted 15 minutes. So we never know. A huge civil war was fought in Fredericksburg VA, first time to use helium balloon observation posts and portable boat bridges in battle to cross the Rappahannock, that river. I know that they used the helium balloon. I didn't know they used ponton bridges, but I did know that the Civil War was when they started using hot air balloons as spotters for the artillery. I know stuff. Oh, you're getting currently tested. Oh, we cross fingers. Nothing bad is gonna happen. Hey, Anya. Hanky Panky will whine. He always whines. He is. I think he might have. The last motion hearing, I think he might have crossed the line. I think we can read it in the motions we've seen since then. They are more combative. They are more, I don't know, it's just that Sonnechagua, where I can't tell you why I feel it, but it's something in the wording, the multiple mentions of methodology, I think he crossed the line when he implied that the defense didn't play fair. And we're talking about a Commonwealth who constantly have withhold evidence, constantly have withhold crucial evidence, I would say. And then he still plays it like it's the defense that throws spanners in the works and doesn't want to work with him, and he just wants to make everything right. But I think something shifted around the last hearing. I feel like I've only read on screen the dog bite expert, but I've read the rest of them, and I think you can feel like a tonal shift in his arguments, or in the Karen Reed defense arguments. And if you don't know, the Boston 25 full interview is on YouTube now. If you want to go see the Karen Reed. Before there was like a 6 minute, 8 minute, 6 minute clip, but the full interview is up now. Apparently, the defense team is working for free, which is, to me, very telling, because these people earn money. They're not like me. They don't make change. They make money, and they're doing it for free. She's a big part of sifting through all the information, and I think she has a great mind for it. She's a professor working with finance. They have those weird analytical brains that can store tons of information and see patterns. So I think they have a very strong team, but they need a very strong team, because you can also go back and watch Aidan Carney's Turtle Boys interview with the juror, where the good old truth I say all the time, trials has nothing to do with the law. It has everything to do with the jury. And to that person who said, well, watching your video about the Carney jury interview, it felt like she lost on every charge. She did. Because she's going to go to court for every single one of them again. I know the jury later claimed they didn't find her guilty in charge 1 and 3, but Bev said, We're going to do it one more time. So they lost, all of them. Well, at least they beat them to a draw. So they have to fight every single one of them again. So that's why I'm so. I will always be the negative Nancy. When people will tell you magic will happen, it won't happen. Magic doesn't exist in courtrooms. Sadly, too many people will tell you that they have special sources and they told them it doesn't exist. But I'm glad that she has as great a team as she has, and that they can see she's being railroaded and therefore doing it for free. It's costing them a lot to defend her, yes. But it's also a make and break case. If they can get her off of this with all the attention, there's also kind of like the OJ team lived off of that for the rest of their life. Will you be covering the Sandra Birchmore case? I have. I had Missy on way back when. But I know there's a hearing today, but I can't do 3 things at once. I can barely do 1. But Birchmore is on my radar. I have had Missy on talking about it. Horrible case as well. Lord Chippy. The defense team is mad and they have a right to be. They have all the rights to be. Because, again, why aren't... The judge was there 5 minutes ago. Why isn't he coming back? Because the state isn't playing fair. Yeah, I'm just... You have to be skeptic. Another person said that I had no right to talk about the American justice system. I'm like, what? Because I don't know anything about jurors. I've been doing this for 2.5 years. I've been let down by more jurors than I've been let down by women. And I got let down by women a lot. And who have the right to talk badly about your justice system? It's sometimes in comments you're sitting here thinking, what? And I love that they said, I hope you're never on a jury. I had 2 cases last week. I had a case yesterday. I'm probably inside a courtroom more than most other people on YouTube. So, and I've only been overturned twice in my 13 years as a juror. 14 years now. And both times they upped the punishment. Yes, it does. I have seen magicians, Penn and Teller, and people like that. It's magic. It exists. That's the problem. 1, there's no idea what reasonable doubt is, and some defense teams are really good at telling you what reasonable doubt is. Some people don't do it as much. And then you have the other problem that you are always guilty of something, or else the state wouldn't have pressed charges against you. It's human nature to think like that. That's why when we go in to give to do our verdict and sentencing, the first thing we always are asked by the judge is, did the state prove the charges? Remember, everything must benefit the defendant. That's the first thing we are always asked when we go back in. Well, maybe sometimes it's, do you want coffee? But that's the first thing we are always asked, because we sit 2 jurors and a judge, and the first thing the judge will say is, did the state prove it? Because every reasonable doubt should go to the defendant. There's a hearing today. I don't think it's a federal hearing, but the hearing against the guy who's arrested, the only guy who's arrested, is federal, won't be televised, but maybe we can cover some of it. Hey, Stephen. It's just, people should just think a little bit about. Oh, I just went live. Yeah, and the way they saw the evidence from it was just distractions by the defense. No, it's the defense. The defense has no reason to distract you. And again, Lally spent 7 weeks talking about the snow, the music, whatever. But they felt like it was the defense who tried to pull a fast one. Let me tell you something about juries. After serving on them for as many years as I have, people are dumb, y'all. Especially when you're just hauled off the street, put into a courtroom, and being told, you're going to sit here for 8 weeks. You can't take notes. You just have to sit here and look at Paul O'Keefe's ball sack for 8 weeks. Good luck. See you later. They'll be stupid. Well, he can't be a plant because the defense have ways to strike him. Was he somehow helping the other side? Yes. You have to remember, the defense and the state have the same amount of strikes on the foreperson. So they could have struck him, said, we don't want that guy, he's former cop, we don't want him in there. The defense agreed to have him there. So if you believe he's a plant, then then the defense wasn't good enough on striking jurors. Did he help the state? Yes. Would I ever have him picked as a foreperson? No. But again, I know a lot of people saying, well, they planted people on the jury. You can't plant people on the jury. That goes through the same process, every single one of them. It's not like, oh, by the way, we're taking juror 25 in. The defense have to agree as well. Sorry, Jemima, do you read this as they are having a hearing before the case? Pretty Lies and Alibis is just updating from the courtroom, and I can't figure out if it's opening statements. I'm not going to read it. If it's a motion hearing they are having off camera, then I might look at it. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more motions have, motions and affidavits have just been dropped in the Karen Reed case. Defendant Karen Reed's opposition to Commonwealth's motion to exclude employees of ARCA. Commonwealth's response to defendant's motion to compel production of forensically sound copy of the January 29th video surveillance. Affidavit of Commonwealth in support of response to defendant's motion to compel production of forensically sound, the one before. Commonwealth's opposition to defendant's motion to exclude testimony from the Commonwealth's witness, James V. Cosby. Affidavit of counsel in support of Cosby. And affidavit of attorney Mark Diller on behalf of the O'Keefe family in response to defendant's Rule 14 and 17 motion from court order authorizing defense to access to the Lexus and Traverse and to the driveway of One Meadow Avenue in Canton to conduct independent testing and analysis. Thank you, Iris. Swear jar. I'm screaming when I saw the juror interview recaps. Sadly, that's how most jurors will be. They will only believe how they feel. They don't understand that they have to just look at the evidence. Not, I feel she's guilty. That's why I always say court cases has nothing to do with the law. I'm so far behind. Okay. I bet that happens in most cases because the state would never lie. The state is always right. I trust the state. I think that's what a lot of people automatically think. Oh, I can talk to the cops. The cops are the good guys. Interesting. Apparently, they are arguing in this case, Zachary Hughes case, and he will now admit he did it. He did it in defense of others, so it was him. All the good arguments we had that we could puncture holes in the state's case has now been made mute, whatever it is, because he will admit he did it. He did it to save the kid. And apparently they have an expert that'll testify to long-term abuse of a kid. They claim the kid was in imminent danger, and the state, of course, says, well, there was no imminent danger when you went into the house. The kid was at school, which is correct. But if he can talk about the kid, the judge has retired to his... he just comes back now. But he has gone back to think about it. So if it's going to fly, we don't know. But... so his defense is self-defense of others. Kinda. Unbalanced equation. Just dropped in to say hi. Well, hi, unbalanced equation. You're more than welcome to stick around. But that's kind of a surprise. Well, it's a way to get the kiddie stuff in there, perhaps. But I think there was enough holes you could point in the old in the state case. Bold strategy, cut. Let's see how it works out. Wasn't it the first retrial where they did a police background check on the jury panel? That was ironic now that we look back. I think, yes, they were doing, they did a police check, a background check, and I actually think it was on behalf of the defense. Hey, Boston Terror, how are you doing? I don't know, the judge, Zach went in there with the intent to save the child. Judge say he will take some time to decide. We are on break. That is from Pretty Lies and Alibis. So, still waiting. This isn't going to work for him only if he can mention the CP. If the jury knows about the CP, they'll go light on him, no doubt. That will be the big question. But now he have pulled the rabbit out the hat and said on record that he did it. So if it's not going to come in, it's going to be up a certain creek. No, but again, I just said juries has nothing to do with the law. Juries has all to do with the feelings. So if they feel he was saving a girl from horrible, horrible conditions in that house, it'll probably change how they see cases. Quite a bizarre twist. I don't get it. I would have. Maybe it's because they couldn't get any way to explain the DNA. Because I don't think. I was talking about it yesterday. I don't think anything was proven. 825 million to 1 is strong evidence. You're just normally hearing in American cases 8 trillion or 8 quadrillion. In Denmark, anything that is mentioned is 1 to a million. That's if it's below that, it's uncertain. 1 to a million is the baseline we have for it's yours. Oh, then why are you calling yourself Boston? Because you're. Oh, it's because you're ashamed you're living in a fake state. It's okay, Laura Reicher. What proof do we have of them being in a relationship? I saw some people talk about where do you get that one from? I haven't seen anyone and any news articles or anything mention it. Is it a twit sweat rumor? Is it somewhere from an interview? Where is that gay relationship coming in? I had never ever heard that, or haven't found any proof of it anywhere, and it hasn't been mentioned once in the trial. So I don't know where that came from. Hey, Sluddy. It's never a dull moment with the baker. Never, ever a dull moment. Always the twists and turns. Tell more people to come watch us. It's always fun because it goes cray-cray. It could have been there because if they have an expert on child psychology or something lined up, they weren't going for we're going to disprove the DNA. He told him he loved him in a text. Where? Which text? Is it one of the WhatsApp messages? I saw no such. I could have been having a bio break or something. I didn't see anywhere where it's said, "I love you." And again, everything was scrambled, so I don't know where it's from. I can't tell you if it's true or not. I just know that nothing has been brought into this case that has anything or anything from the state that have implied that they were lovers. So I don't know. I know that he had been in Italy for a year before this happened, so it's been long distance, if anything. Why hasn't the dang court clerk? Because he'll probably say, like last time, I never received it, even though he received it the day before. I'm wondering if you have some type of relationship with Isabella. Who's Isabella? The daughter? Yeah. And then you send those pictures. That's taking it too far. For what? There are charges against him for harassment already, but I don't know if there's any charges pending. I haven't seen any charges pending for conspiracy to unalive his wife. So I don't know. There's conspiracy to harass her, but yeah. It was read during the trial. I missed it then. I clearly missed it, but I have no reason to say it didn't get read. I also know that most of what was read was interpreted because it was scrambled. But probably, I don't know. I just know that Mello had been in Italy for a year. I get addicted. Oh, the older daughter. Yeah, I could see more relationship between them because he got her number, and was told to contact her. Hey, Ralphie. Some do. Some are Danish. I thought from the start that it could be a way to pressure another charge in there. Gossip Rumor and the Endo reported that. I didn't see the text myself. I just don't remember seeing any text that he read as the text stated, I love you. I saw a lot of send stuff, go to the post office, stuff like that. I didn't see anything that was, I love you. But could be I was on the bio breaks. There will be a trial for Post if he doesn't plead guilty. If it's shown, probably not, because of the evidence that will be shown in that trial. So it won't be a televised trial. I don't think so. Yeah, but you're weird, Danny. Still no decision from the judge. We're probably going to go to the Karen Reed case before this one starts. He can. I don't need a relation. I'm outraged about it. I don't need to be in a relationship. He spoke to her that day as well. Yeah, at 4 o'clock or something like that. So that's after he was out driving around. We don't know. She hasn't testified. I don't text my buddies. I call them if I want to talk to them. Well, one of my buddies asked if I want to go to Comic-Con. He did it 2 weeks ago. I still haven't answered him. Can't constantly hang on the phone. Yeah, half an hour, then we can start that one. I do have emotions. I teared up. I wrote the sweetest little card for my grandson's baptism, thanking him for choosing our family, and that I will always be there to tell him dirty stories when his mom's not around, and get him some candy. So I teared up a little bit when I wrote that. That was nice of me. I'm a good guy. I really like myself. Well, at least one person does that. No, it was total bullcrap. Well, they did it for the last one where did your music investigation or whatever it was go well. That clearly means an unaliving. No, I didn't use ChatGPT. I tried to be nice, and I tried to say the same things that my dad said to my kids, that there was always a dirty story when mom wasn't around, because he always used to sit at the table and say, mom's not here. I think you're old enough to handle this one. And then he'll tell us a dirty story about when he was in the Air Force. And you know those Air Force guys. Yeah, I don't know. It seems that they haven't really argued about bringing in I'm just looking at it only looks like they have a witness to talk about long-term abuse. Also, it seemed that Christina's daughter could testify. That would be highly surprising, because she should be how old now? Christina's daughter. No, yeah, Christina Parcell. This is from Pretty Lies and Alibi. So because we don't hear when they are not on. The jury's not in the room. But if the daughter, that means the kid. That could be very, very interesting if she's allowed to testify, because she's a minor. No, Comic Con Copenhagen. Not the Comic Con. Ours will be the Comic Con, because the former Communist Party is the biggest party in Copenhagen. But yeah, weirdos. Yeah, that's very interesting, but very telling, and it should tell you all you need to know about true criming it. Because one thing is the law, one thing is all the evidence, all the facts. That doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is how does it feel in the stomach of the jury when they are in the booth. And some of it can be, well, Karen Reed has some facial mimic that sometimes she can look a little angry, or it could be, well, I don't trust her because she has that face. She could do that. It can be that Dr. Russell didn't come off as friendly enough. Doesn't matter what they're saying. Cases are not based on the law. Cases are based on, at least jury cases, are based on how the jury feels. And most of the time, it just takes a strong personality in the jury room, and they can sway it all over. And you can see that happened. The jury admitted she must have done something. So he got moved to change his vote to a guilty vote again. Long-term abuse must have been of the daughter. Interesting. I'm not going to Texas. I would melt in Texas. Yeah, but I don't know if the judge will allow her to testify, because she has no direct knowledge of it, and she's a minor, and if he's not letting the CP in, yeah. I think the entire defense was based on the CP. Once they realized they weren't gonna get it in, this was the next best option, maybe. Yeah, and maybe they can get the CP in through him. Maybe not directly saying the CP, but saying that the child was in danger. And do the old wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I don't know. Couldn't handle the attitude. Altitude. I thought attitude. No, I really wanted to go to. When I get YouTube rich, I would like to go to my Brian Shaw games, Shaw Classics. My theory is that everyone on a jury should be Asperger's. We look at everything with logic and very little, if any, emotions. No, you shouldn't do that, because you will also miss those parts where you need a little humanity, and you need a little, can you understand why this happened? Because by the book, everything is easy. Everything is black and white. That is why we have the layman system in Denmark, to come in and try to be that reason where you say, was it unprovoked or was it provoked? Is there a reason he did this? So because if you just want people to go by cold logic, You don't need a jury trial ever. You just dismantle the jury system. The problem is you have to instruct the jury correctly that what's reasonable doubt. And I think, and I've said this before, and I know I can't say anything bad about the American justice system. Your biggest problem is your system is made by lawyers for lawyers. It's not made for the defendant or the jury. You have so much word waste in American courts. You have all the crap about what school did you go to, did you have a roast beef sandwich last night, all of that crap where you have to say, well, instead of just saying, this is a doctor. I've been in the medical field for 25 years. Okay, she's probably a doctor. I am certified in dog behavior. I have a degree I made myself. Problem not the best witness. And all of this should be just swish-washed between the defense and the state before the case starts. You don't have to sit there, do that stupid role play, because every witness that is presented in the case is okayed before the case. We know we have the Daubert hearing, we have all of that. They just need to know my specialty is I do accidents reconstructions. They don't need to know that you went to Brown University or you went to, I don't know, whatever else school you can go to. It's waste. And you spend, some cases, they spend up to 40 minutes talking about people's credentials. Waste of time. Then you have the closing arguments, which will bore a dead person to death. It's just yada, 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 talky, talky, talk. And it has nothing to do what the jury is there for. Just read the charges one more time and say, this is the law connected to charge 1, and this is charge 2, and this is charge 3. Remember, every reasonable doubt must go to the defendant. Hasta la taco, there's donuts. All of this crap with, if you cannot find them, then you should reconsider. And when you have reconsidered and you can still not find them, you should decide, is it a strongly held belief I have, or could I be swayed with the right argument? But remember, you shouldn't give up your truly deeply held beliefs just because someone else tells you to. And I think that's the big old problem, that you waste so much time and the jury just gets in the courtrooms. Scheduling is always a massive problem. The case I was called in for yesterday, the defendant didn't show up, 2 of the witnesses didn't show up, and we have to get, and it's a simple case. It's nothing big, it's nothing major. It's just a stupid case. So we had 1 witness testify, and then we had to get our calendars and try and find a day where we could go again. And I believe it's around the last week of May is when we're going to pick that up again. Last year I had a case that lasted from, no, not last year, a couple of years ago, I had a case that lasted from March to February. Then we had 1 day here, 2 days here, 1 day here, 2 days there. Scheduling is hell in courtrooms. They are so stacked. The problem is that some experts are not expert. That's happened before. Yes, that's why you pre-approve them before the court. The jury shouldn't sit and listen to all of that bullcrap. It doesn't matter what school an expert went to. That's for the defense and the state to figure out. It's not for the jury. Just give them and say, well, this is an expert. That's why you have the Daubert-Lanigan hearings. You don't need to have Dr. Russell tell you in a Daubert-Lanigan hearing her CV and then come back and tell it to the jury. The court have approved that she's a specialist. Boom. That's how I do. You ask your doctor those questions, I just go to my doctor and get medicine. It depends on if it's good closing arguments. Closing arguments can be really bad and really boring. Well, he can lie. Funny thing is, guess who is not sworn in a courtroom? The lawyers. Well, it's because they have a high ethical standard with the bar. Yeah, right. Lawyers have all the rights to lie all the time if they want to. And closing arguments are not testimony. So he can tell you whatever he will. Isn't it funny that in American courtrooms, the only people who can lie are the lawyers? And in Danish courtrooms, at least the defendant can lie as well. I know they do, but technically they can't. Yeah, and never in any history of the American justice system have any lawyer broken that oath. Never. Why won't a lawyer just accept if an expert says, "I swear I'm a doctor"? Well, I swore the Hippocratic oath. Yeah, but that's not how we do it. No, but we have to believe it. So lawyers are the only ones who can lie in a courtroom because they are better than the rest of us, because they took an oath at their bar exam. I wouldn't buy a cow from Lally because I would be pretty sure that the milk would be sour and it would be limp on at least 2 legs, even though he said, "This is a racing horse." I should stop talking. No, they're not supposed to. It's really not supposed to. Yeah, well, they might have crossed their fingers. But I need to jump over to the Karen Reed stream because Valhalla is hooked up to that one, I hope. So I'm going to end this stream because nothing happens here. We'll pick it up later. I know you're swearing a law, Jemima, but you don't do it in court like every other witness and every other person in the room. Even the defendant has to swear. So I'm going to ship you over to the Karen Reed stream, and then I'm going to hopefully get Valhalla on. Jamie won't come on because she said... She says that a lot. She's getting mean. I think it's because her Marissa, and Jemima have made a Mean Girls club. They wear pink once a week too and say fetch a lot. I'm going to do an outro and then I'm going to start the other one up as soon as I take a quick little sniffity-biffity bio break, and I'll be right back. Hopefully Valhalla will join me today. See you in a second or two.
What exhibit are you referring to?
I'm going to make this 100, Your Honor.
All right.
100. Because it is 100%. correct.
Checking your honor.
So you literally built a cannon?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
All right, I'm in love.
Go back. Please do that again. Oh, that was the cutest thing I've ever seen.
While I'm waiting for this, did you, whether it's true or not, believe that Mr. Randolph had slept with your wife?
I wouldn't care.
You wouldn't have cared?
No,
Did you believe he had slept with your wife?
no,
Did you believe he slept with your mother-in-law?
probably did. Everybody has.
So there-
Everybody has.